Hey, welcome to this second segment as we begin to unpack the matter of what does it look like when we exit a role. Role exit is something that has quite extensive kind of research that has been given to it. There's a number of researchers. One of them is Zena Smith-Blau. The other one is Elizabeth Ebow. They are two people who have looked at role exit and studied it quite extensively. Role exit occurs, typically there are four reasons for a role exit. One of the reasons may be nature itself. A spouse dies. You then move into a realm in which you exit a role of being a spouse to a certain person. The second kind of reason for a role exit is when an individual decides to leave a person or a group of people. Someone may choose to leave a marriage. They may choose to retire from a job. And it is fully their choice. They are exiting of their own volition. The third reason for a role exit is involuntary role exit. And that's the third form. It's characterized by intent on someone else's part. An example would be the decision of a person's spouse to leave the marriage, but the spouse who's left doesn't want that to happen. They're leaving the person involuntarily vacated from the previous role. Finally, there is banishment or excommunication. Perhaps the most severe form of role exit from a group is the fourth way in which this occurs. An individual is cast out of a group or an organization, or they are fired from their job. The effects of these different types of exits are very different. In cases where one is rejected, there are clearly, we know, deeper feelings and more complex feelings of being unloved and betrayed and demeaned, often accompany the feelings of loss. Elizabeth Ebow has written an intriguing book a number of years ago entitled Becoming an Ex. And it is in this work that we're going to just use some of her writing related to exiting an old role. She deals in this particular book with the four stages, and we've provided here a bit of a visual, a metaphor, that when we exit a role, and particularly when we are thinking voluntarily on our part about a change of role, that's principally the focus here in this navigating career transitions. Because if it's involuntarily, usually it can be at the red marker that role exit occurs. But when we choose it, it turns out we go through a bit of a circuitous type of path to get to that role exit. And the first step is this matter of what we refer to as first doubts. The road to the exit ramp begins with first doubts. And these first doubts begins with us as an exiter beginning to wonder. About, we begin to ask questions. Do I really need to stay here? Do I want to stay here in this role? The doubting process is usually gradual. We may begin to feel a certain level of dissatisfaction or overall dissatisfaction. And there are all kinds of things that may come into that. It may be you're in a place of organizational change. It may be that you look around and realize that you're maybe in a place or an organization that is going down. It may be that you have some self-doubts about your role and your ability to help the organization. These are all first doubts. One of the things that I would encourage you as you think about your career transitions is the value of having around you that band of brothers or band of sisters that we often talk about in Crest. When you are engaging your first doubts and dissatisfaction with where you're at, it is always a wise thing to gather some brothers or sisters around you. And like the Quaker tradition has this clearness committee approach where it's a committee of people who simply are there to listen to you talk out loud about some of the things you're thinking about, and they cannot give advice. All they can do is ask further questions. In the realm of first doubts, this is very, very valuable because it may be you're having a bad day, bad week, or a bad month. Or it may be deeper than that. And this is where the realm of first doubts brings us. And so change may bring it about. It may be that we're feeling tired and weary. That's, I think, much of what's going on with pastors. with healthcare workers, with educators, and with first responders, and with many business people. In the Fortune 500, there have been more CEOs resign and leave, exit roles in the last several years than in the history of the Fortune 500. So it can be weariness and tiredness. Burnout can be that. It's a gradual process as defined by EBAW, and is a negative response on the part of the individual to role-related stress. And so stress comes in. There can also be disappointment and changes in relationships. There can be political factors that begin to occur within an environment. Once you begin to experience these first doubts, it is always wise to share it with others for a period of what could be called reality testing. Just test the reality of what really is going on. And the duration of this first doubts period can be determined by a number of factors. There are degrees to which individuals are aware of their dissatisfaction, the degree to which they feel they have control over the exit, and other factors that come to bear we're going to look at a little bit later. So this is the first step along the way. In segment 3, we're going to look at the next segment, or the next element of this role exit journey. So we'll see you in segment 3.